Okay, welcome, Kevin, to the show. Thank you very much for talking to us. You are really just starting to reach that pinnacle time of your fight camp in preparation to take on James Evans, and you're fighting obviously on Shamrock on 21st November. How is yourself feeling mentally and physically for this fight?
Man, I'm feeling really good. I'm actually more excited, and I think it's making the jump to the professional rank has kind of got my juices flowing here. I mean, I've never underestimated an opponent. I never will. But for some reason, I just feel like I'm on my grind really well right now during this fight camp. And I feel like by the time that fight gets here, I'm going to be right at my peak point, and I think I'm going to be ready to roll.
Now, from what I believe, is this your pro debut from what I've researched?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, obviously, it's a different step from amateur to professional. Obviously you've been training I'd say trained professional in a way. Are you preparing yourself in a different manner for the professional fight?
I am. Just in the sense that my amateur career, my losses have come to pretty tough opponents. I think all but one of my losses, the opponents were undefeated. The mentality that I took as an amateur was, I want to fight the best of the best. I want to see where I'm at this very moment. And some of those fights, honestly, against my coach's better judgment, he told me, you should probably wait. You're not quite there yet. You're still pretty new. But, now I'm at a point where I'm like, hey, I got that out of my system. I know what it's like to fight the best. I know what it's like to fight these guys that are title holders. And so at this point in my career, I'm 37 years old, so I'm definitely not a young spring chicken by any means. I feel like I got to get in there. I got to grind. I got to let these guys know that, hey, when that cage door locks, man, this is not, some fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants independent fighter. I'm a guy who's a part of a team. My team pushes me, and those guys have gotten me ready, guys and girls, because we have females on our team as well. They have pushed me to a place where, honestly, at the time, it's not the greatest feeling in the world. But then once you're done and you accomplish that, it's like, all right, man, if I can face this, I know when that cage door shuts, I can face whatever stands in front of me.
I think the amateur scene is starting to become more and more vital for mixed martial artists. I've spoke with very high-level professionals socially, and they've even mentioned how the guys that they train, the up-and-coming guys, they will purposefully put them in amateur bouts with guys who have very solid records, not in the hope that they lose, but in a sense that they know that they need those guys to lose. They need them to have a loss under their belt, and just for experience, because any guy can go in and fight amateur, fight a load of guys who they're going to win and smash, and then go to the pro ranks and think everything's going to be fantastic.
You need tests. Yeah, you need tests beforehand, because you can scrub and start again, can't you?
It's important. It's important to get those losses, and I think that you've had it and you've accepted that. You said it helped you. That's exactly what it was meant to do. You've took the lesson that was there.
Absolutely. I think one of the greatest, if I could call it a fault on a human level, I think one of the greatest downfalls to humanity is that everybody thinks they're going to be at the top and that they're never going to experience defeat. And so if you don't experience defeat, number one, let me back up just a second. I think that character is revealed through defeat, honestly. A lot of guys, you're right, they get in, they just, hey, I just want to get in a fight. And so it's this glorified hype of, hey, guys, I'm an MMA fighter, and they tell all their friends, and, it looks cool, right? But to the rest of us who take this very seriously, it's not just a fad. It's not just a phase in our life. This is the outlet that we've been given, and I'm very grateful for this, because there's people that are born, and I believe that, not in I won't say a religious way, like God makes people this way, but I believe there are warriors, and I believe that they walk this earth today. They didn't just exist in medieval times, and this is an outlet that we have that's legal so that people don't end up in jail, So to me, I feel like those losses, they reveal something each time. Each loss that I had was different. I've been knocked out twice. Those, I should have kept my hands up. That's pretty basic. But it's the couple of losses that I lost to, it was Zach Gorillas and Brandon Huckabee, two Midwest heavyweights, good guys. And I learned so much from those losses, and it revealed something within me. Number one, you can give me your best shot, and if it doesn't put me to sleep, I'm not stopping. That's just the bottom line. You're not going to outgrind me in a fight. now that we're at the professional level, I mean, I was given the nickname the workhorse for a purpose and for a reason, and that's just because of my style of fighting. I mean, if I get a guy on the ground, man, I'm going to be on top of you like, you know, I hate to say it like this, but this is just a reality. I'm going to be on top of you like an old fat man on an 18-year-old stripper. You're not getting up. I'm going to be there till I'm done. That's just the bottom line.
What's an 18-year-old stripper look like?
You know, they vary, you know.
Now that depends if you win or lose your last fight.
Yeah, it's a good analogy though. I do like that. We'll have to take that one. Now, like you say, if you could take the hit, but the thing is, with the heavyweights, then there's no soft hitters really. It's hard to find someone who doesn't hit heavy in the heavyweight division because science, physics, that anyone who's heavy is going to hit hard. Essentially, you know, it does come down then obviously to technique and speed and everything. Like you say, you've had the knockouts. Do you then take that and go, right, I need to work more on my boxing, or do you evolve your game to reduce the amount of chances you get hit? Do you maybe go for more grappling style? Is that what? How did you take those?
For me, it was okay. We got to fix the stand-up game. I knew I could hit hard, but like you just made a point of, any big guy can hit hard. That's just reality. So the question is, you know, how long can I hit hard? Can I keep that level of intensity up for a 5-minute round, or is that something that's only going to last, you know, a couple seconds and then I'm gassed out? So it was kind of a twofold deal. When I saw, I'm a very big critic on myself, and so I go back and watch my videos actually more than I have ever watched my opponent's videos. I'm watching myself because I want to see areas that I can improve on as a fighter and a competitor, and so that's one of the areas. And I've been saying for this fight, you know, I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm a fighter who I would say can evolve and adapt as the fight goes on. So if the fight goes to the ground, great. I'm comfortable on the ground. I'm comfortable off my back. I'm blue belted under Steve Crawford in American Jiu-Jitsu and his no-gi Jiu-Jitsu program, and you know, so for me, the mats are my friend. I'm not afraid of those mats. But for this specific fight, I'm hoping that the gentleman that I'm going to face would like to keep it standing, and he would like to bang it out with me because he's got some things that I've been working on. I want to showcase more as a stand-up fighter. I don't want to just have to go to the ground. But, you know, if a nice solid shot gets in and gets the guy knocked down to the ground, obviously I'm not just going to stand up and wave him back up. That's not my personality, so I'll finish the fight wherever it goes.
I was going to say, that sounds also that you're really looking to entertain in this fight as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to give people that have spent good hard-earned money on tickets, I want to give them a show. I don't want this to be some thing where they come in and watch guys lay on one another. I can't stand it. Now here's my background real quick. I didn't wrestle in high school. I was a football player, played basketball, and wrestling was something I didn't get into. So I was 33 years old. My ground game, so to speak, came from learning jiu-jitsu. And so it's cool because in my training camp and in part of my gym, I've got some guys that are good wrestlers. Matt Sudduth, Connor Gross. These are good guys, both fairly new to the fight game, but their wrestling game is phenomenal. So the one thing that I've learned from them is to be an active wrestler. It's not just lay and pray. I'm not just going to go grab a guy, lay on him, and then that's what people got to watch me do for the rest of the fight. I mean, what is this? You know, I don't want that to be the thing that people come to see and my name to be associated with.
No, it isn't. And do you know the other thing was you said about not gassing with the striking? It is a very careful thing to be kind of eco-efficient with your striking, especially in the heavyweight division. A lot of guys in the heavyweight division, the conditioning is a very huge part of it because you do see often guys that just blow their, like you say, their cannons at about a couple of minutes, and then
I was going to say, almost like having an 18-year-old stripper.
It is.
You don't want to blow your
you don't want to blow your load. So
30 seconds
you don't. But some heavyweights do, and then that's it. Then they're kind of the two of them maybe are just trying to get through to the end of the fight. Have you learned that? Have you seen that yourself watching heavyweight fights? Have you maybe considered to yourself then, I need to make sure my conditioning is at a level where, like you say, you can punch hard maybe in the second round or the third even?
Well,
yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you guys 100%. The downfall of the heavyweight fighter is, it's been typical of seeing a fighter throw a couple good punches or maybe go a good round. But I think the style of fighting that I like and that I'm used to, I'll go out and box. I can go out and kickbox. I feel like my kicks, I honestly 100% after hearing guys that I spar with and after seeing, underutilized, but they're powerful. That's something. If I catch a guy heavy on his lead leg, I feel sorry for him the next day. I can tell you this: if he's married, he's not going to be able to have sexual relations with his wife for a while because he's not going to get a good thrust off of those legs. Because if I see that heavy leg and he's standing on that heavy leg, I'm going to chop the shit out of it. That's just the bottom line. And so for me, it's being able to go back and forth. You know, if I'm not just going to blow my wad trying to throw knockout punches every time. I'll set a guy up. You know, I'll set a guy up with a couple of nice, easy hooks to get around and get that leg or that rib kick. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to my game that I feel like, you know, even though I've only been in this for a short period of time, like I said, I started when I was 33. I'm 37 now. I feel like over the last year and a half, that I've truly kind of accepted certain aspects of my game that are just part of me, and I've evolved as a fighter. Because, you know, the reality is in the last, last 18 months, I went 5-1 as a fighter. Should have been 6-0, but that split decision loss to Zach Gorillas for Shamrock back on March 7th, you know, that was my fault. Bottom line, I should never have let that go to the judges. So, yeah.
Now, you said that you're evolving your game. A big part of this kind of MMA scene is to get yourself out there, and for people to know who you are. Social media is playing a big part, I think, in MMA these days. And Kevin, is there a way for people to jump online to maybe give you like a following, kind of join you on this little journey that you're taking into the professional ranks?
Sure, yeah. I use Facebook quite a bit, so you can find me as Kevin Woltkamp, Woltkamp. I'm on Facebook there. You can also find me on Twitter. Twitter's pretty new to me. I just started using it here in the last month, and I'm at the Workhorse, and then the number 1 is at the end. So it's at the Workhorse 1 on my Twitter. If you're ever out in the Wellsville, Kansas area, that's where our gym's at. We own Brick House Fitness and MMA, so if you're a fighter or if you're just a housewife wanting to get in shape, you know, if you're a blue-collar worker wanting to get in shape, come visit us. We're at 402 Pendleton Avenue. They're in Wellsville, Kansas, 66092.
Or if you're an 18-year-old stripper, give them a look.
Yeah.
And learn how to get past that fat guy.
Yeah,
practice workouts too, but I'm happily married, so that was back in my college days.
And what about, you mentioned the gym. What about your coaches? You know, what about your friends and family? You say you're married. What about your missus? Do you want to give a thanks to the people that have helped you with this fight camp to get you ready for your pro debut?
Yeah, definitely. You know, first of all, there's been guys that have come and gone since we've opened our gym. But one thing, there's a few that have been there basically from day one. So I'm going to give a shout out to those guys. They also compete for me and with me. So I want to give a shout out to Tim Matney. I want to give a shout out to Denton Lawrence, Connor Gross, Matt Sudduth, Chris Mills, and of course, you know, my female fighter that we've got. I've got 2. My wife is one of them. So, honey, I just want to say I love you. And then Jessica Rambo, you know, she's with the name Rambo. I mean, come on, you got to be a fighter with the last name Rambo.
She was a killer from day one, like. Yeah.
If she doesn't have a little band across her head coming into there, I'll be very disappointed. Now, what about sponsorship, Kevin? That's the key. Have you got any sponsors out there that are helping you? Any local companies giving support?
Yeah, definitely. For this fight, you know, I've got four or five good, solid sponsors. So. For this fight, I give a shout out to 5-Star Roofing with Marty Landreth. He's a local roofing contractor there in Wellsville. Also, Wellsville Chiropractic. You know, for me, you know, I mean, being a fighter, you can tweak your body so many different ways. So I'll go see her, Nicole Volchek out there. And then I've also got a couple of sponsors, CCRM, Robert Carver, and this guy's like a business guru. I mean, for the fighters, he's also got a business called For the Fighters, actually, and it's kind of a management, you know, / preparation portion for the business side of fighting, and he helps us to kind of keep things straightened out. So, want to give a shout out to him. I've got a couple other sponsors here. Aftershock Tattoo Company. That's another one. Aftershock Tattoo Company with Mike and Amanda Paquette. Appreciate those guys. All right, I want to give a shout out to Salvage Salon. Barbie over there at Salvage and Gardner. If you guys are looking to get your girl's hair done. I don't have any hair. I've got a nice looking beard, but my hair, that's a different story. I like to be bald headed. But Barbie, she can take care of your hair if you're a man with hair, or if you got a girl that needs to get her hair done, take her over there. She's top of the line there.
Aftershock Tattoo Company. That sounds like a dodgy name for a tattoo company. Aftershock. That's not what I asked for.
Kevin, we look forward to finding out what happens with your fight. We'll be keeping a close eye on it across from the pond. For people who want to watch it, you can go onto the Shamrock FC website and they will stream it. You can pay to watch it, and then I think it's on for like 30 days after the watch as well. So if you do want to see a fight card out with very good production and very well worth
Definitely.
and they do very well match up the fights, don't they? Jesse does a good job.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good man. Kevin, have a great experience for making your pro debut, and we never say good luck because it's about how hard you bust your bollocks, so just have a fantastic experience.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on.